To restorative practice this evening. Thank you for joining me. As Mary Jo and I were just chatting about, sometimes these days can be incredibly busy, lots going on, and sometimes when that happens, you think, oh, maybe just this one time I can skip through getting to that yoga class. I can make my excuses. I really need to just keep doing all these busy things that I'm doing. And that's when you absolutely need the yoga class more than ever. So I had a little reminder of that myself. Not that I was really thinking of not teaching, but it crosses your mind, when you just feel like there's not enough hours in the day and there's so many things I need to accomplish. But this is when you really need your yoga. We all do. So I'm really glad you're here tonight. I'm glad I'm here tonight. And let's go ahead and get started. Vicki said she thought it was Tuesday all day and didn't realize it was Wednesday. So she'll be here in just a moment. So that's great. All right, so we're going to begin just lying down on the mat. We're going to place the bolster across the top side of the mat and bring our legs right over the top of the bolster. So bring your knees right over the top of the bolster, and we're going to lay down and bring your head. I have a quarter fold blanket here at the head part of the bolster. So we're going to lay down and create a head cradle for the head. And I'm sure you remember by now how to create that head cradle. Just rolling up the corners to your ears. I'm going to start my music over again. And we'll just start to relax and release down. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who gets in a position of feeling like you're a little overwhelmed with all there is going on. We all have families, we all have activities and commitments. We all have deadlines, but this week we are using the Yoga Sutra and the Yamas to help inspire our practice, and we've been keying in on the latest of the Yamas for our inspiration, which is aparigraha. Aparigraha is known as the yama that addresses non-hoarding or non-grasping. And in a broader context, it means not holding on to, but rather learning to let go. So I find this to be a very, very instructive yama because you can just apply this to almost every aspect of your life. If you're just joining, we're just bringing the knees over the bolster and we're bringing the head down on the mat. You can bring a head cradle under your head if you like. So when we talk about letting go, we're creating room and we're creating space. Space for positive energy and carving out all those things that we don't truly need. And this can apply to material goods, it can apply to objects, it can apply to ambition, but it can also apply to unnecessary thoughts unnecessary worries and concerns, anything that is truly not needed to live peacefully in the present moment. So as you're lying on the mat and applying the principle of aparigraha to practice tonight, see if you can strip down to the bare minimum of what's needed for this practice. Just your breath, just a soft and willing body, and let go of any expectation, any other ambition or goal beyond just being. Let your breath soften you down as you begin to sink into the supports. The earth will hold you. Your own body will hold you. You really have it all together just right here with just the simplest of needs. Soften your feet. Soften your shins. Let go and release of all the muscles in the legs. Let go of your shoulders. Release and soften the muscles of your neck. And let your fingers just gently float down, just barely grazing the mat on which you're lying down on. I want you to envision the blue sky, the emptiness of the blue sky. A beautiful, beautiful shade of heavenly blue that goes on for miles and miles and miles. Your body is like a singular cloud floating in that blue sky. Weightless, effortless, with no concerns as to where you blow or where you land. Just enjoy that visual image for a few more minutes in this posture. 5 more breaths right here. Calm, smooth, unhurried breaths. One more breath. Begin to inhale and draw your knees up into your chest. Hug your knees in your chest. Offer yourself a little rock back and forth. And as you're ready, we'll roll to one side and come on up. Hopefully you already feel a little bit more peaceful than when you started. All right, we're going to build our next supportive posture using blocks and the bolster. I'm going to create an incline for the bolster that we can lay back on, and we're going to come into a restorative Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose. So as usual, we'll bring a tall block here at the top and a shorter block in front, so we have a nice stair-step support. And then we'll take our blanket, starting with the quarter fold, and then we'll make a triple fold out of it. So it starts as a quarter fold, and then we're going to fold it long ways, once in the middle, and then again once in the middle, so we end up with a nice long strip. If you know that you like support underneath your knees or thighs, you may want to grab another throw pillow that you could put underneath the thighs. If you're okay with your knees falling out and not needing any additional support, then you should be fine. So we're just going to first find our seat right in front of that support. We're going to bring our feet together in bound angle, soles of the feet pressing toward each other, and we're going to lay this long, thin blanket right on top of the feet. Then take your hands, reach underneath your calves, and then just pull that blanket around your ankles. So you're going to tightly pull that blanket so that it really squeezes the soles of your feet together. Once you've got that in place, you shouldn't need to do anything else. You can just let go, and then you can just begin to bring your back up on the bolster. So slowly let it back. Shoulders are just going to fall open. Your hands can gently rest on either side of your thighs. So make sure that you feel that you're in your maximum support posture for bound angle. If you need something else underneath the thighs, go ahead and take a moment. Bring a pillow or something else underneath to support. But if you're okay, then let's start to come back to that nice calm peace of mind, using the breath as the entree, opening the door once again, and just letting yourself fall down the path of serenity. And as you are laying back, I'm going to share a little bit about aparigraha to give you just a little bit more food for thought. So another aspect of aparigraha means letting go of expectation. We sometimes get fixated on the outcome of a particular situation, on the outcome or the goal of a relationship, perhaps a job, a position, the outcome of an election, the outcome of anything where we can foresee and hope for a particular set of circumstances. But yoga teaches us that the only constant thing in life is actually change. And because that is a truism, aparigraha teaches us not to grasp at particulars and outcomes. The Sanskrit word parinamavada is the teaching that, quote, everything is in a constant state of flux. Indeed, change is the only constant thing we can expect in life. And while that's a paradox, it is undeniably true. Just as the trees drop their leaves in autumn so that they may grow new buds in spring, the day turns to night and the seasons come and go. We too go through changes every moment of every day. Our physical bodies are undergoing change every second, with cells regenerating, blood flowing, bone wearing down, and then being stimulated to build back up again. The breath moves in and out of the body, in and out, and in and out, constantly, never maintaining a static state of being. And so too, our minds experience change continuously. Happiness, joy, and peace are important emotions to feel, but so too are sadness, anger, and loss. To experience only the positive is to experience only half of what life has to offer. The school of life exists to allow us to experience and learn from every aspect of our being, the light and the dark. And to truly live, we must not push away the things we don't want to feel, but we must allow them to happen and know that this too shall pass. When we let the moment be what it is, without either trying to cling to it or to push it away, we can truly say we are living in that moment, allowing things to come and go without the need to possess any of it. See if you can soften your hips. See if you can allow the release of your legs and knees. Soften your belly. Release anything you're holding in the shoulders. or in your heart. Truly let go. And we'll stay here about another minute or two. Take 3 more soft, unwavering and unhurried breaths. Letting emotions, expectations, and any thought of outcome go. Let it go. Begin to activate your legs and knees. Bring the knees up to the center. Keep your knees bent, but heel toe the feet out to the sides of your mat. You can keep yourself lying back on the bolster. Just keep relaxing the upper body and let your knees and thighs gently fall inward toward each other. Take the heel of your hand to the outside of your hips, that connection where your hip and your thighs come together, and just give yourself some little soft, gentle circles with the heel of your hand, just a little pressure. Offering a little massage, a little recognition. You're here and you're loving on yourself. And then you can begin to slowly bring yourself upward. Come up off of the bolster. And we'll set up for our next posture. So next, we're actually going to come into a prone position. So we're going to be laying down on our bellies. And I played with this one a few different ways before practice today. We're going to be laying on our bellies, and we're actually going to be taking the arms and crossing them so that when we're laying down, the arms are going to be in this type of position. So it's a crossed arm shoulder stretch, but often we're stretching out this direction. We're going to be stretching the shoulders toward the outer. We're going to be spreading the scapula in the back. But what my thought was to create a little bit of almost like a supported Sphinx pose. I think a blanket roll, a tight roll, is a little bit too hard on the chest. The bolster was a little bit too high, so I was trying to find the Goldilocks approach to support here because I think it helps to have a little support on the chest. Often this is taught with the chest lying straight down on the mat, but I find that that's a little bit harsh on the neck, and it kind of smushes your face down into the ground. So bear with me as we try this out together. And if this doesn't work for you, you can feel free to create your own version. So I'm going to lay down here and just I've got, my blanket is folded over, so it's maybe 3 inches high, just kind of a nice flat, but high, a little bit of a height to that support. I'm going to bring that right underneath my ribs. So I've got just enough of a little gap lifting up my heart and chest. Now, when you're laying down on here, you're going to take one arm. Let's just start with the right arm so we're together. The right arm is going to slide toward the left. Your palm is down on the floor. Left arm is going to cross over and reach toward the right. So both palms are down. Now, for any reason this is difficult, please, you can come just into Makarasana. You can come into a crocodile pose and simply lie in a prone position. But if this feels okay and you can feel that stretch along the upper back and the scapula, you're just going to start to lower your head and allow it to fall downward. Now, we're not going to stay in this quite as long as we do the other postures, so we're going to switch sides in just a moment. But once you've felt just the right amount of stretch and effort for your shoulder and your body, see if you can imagine the back of your heart opening up like a book. We don't open the back of the heart very often. We tend to open the front of the heart, do a lot of back bending. But the back of the heart, in the middle of the chest, gets a lot of condensed tension. So this is really a nice stretch for your arms, for your shoulders, and the thoracic area. So see if you can imagine your shoulder blades being pulled to the outside of your body and opening up the back of the heart and cracking it open like a book. Breathe and allow oxygen to come directly into the back of your heart. The more you can relax, the more you'll feel that stretch. See if you can relax through the shoulders, relax through your neck. And we'll just take about 5 or 6 more breaths on this one side. Slow, deep breaths. Soften as you go. All right, let's do one more. All right, and then begin to lift your head up. Slide your left hand back to support. Slide your right elbow back. And uncross your arms. Take a moment and come into Sphinx pose and press your shoulders back, lift your heart and upper chest. Make sure your neck feels okay. And then we're going to set up on the other side. So this time, Instead of starting with the right, we'll start with the left, and we're going to cross the left arm underneath the right. Again, palm is still down, and then right arm slides across the front, and we're going to come back into that same stretch one more time. So we'll just stay here about a minute. Once again, see if you can imagine your thoracic spine and your heart opening, receiving love and oxygen and nourishment through the back of the organ. Three more breaths. All right, and then begin to slide your right hand back. Press down into the forearm, left arm unfolds. Once again, let's come into a little bit of a supported Sphinx pose. Just take a moment, press both of your shoulders toward the back of the mat. Lift your heart. Maybe drop your neck down if that feels good. Just let your head drop straight forward. Bring a little length, opening up the cervical spine. And then back up. Slide your hands back. And press them down. And come onto your seat. Alright, so that's not one we do very often. We've done it before, but it's been quite a few months. And if anybody has any feedback for me on that one, you can let me know how that worked out for you. All right, so to counter that, we're actually going to come into a fish pose. So we opened up the back of the heart. Now we're going to go into more of a traditional front heart opening. And fish, I think, is definitely one of my favorites. I'm going to bring the bolster long ways, and I always offer you a couple of options here. You can either put an additional blanket support on your seat if you want your tailbone to reach off of the bolster and sit there, or you can bring your tailbone and your seat all the way up on the long bolster, and if you want to, you can create a little bit more. You can create a small blanket support for your head. So if you do come all the way up on the bolster, I find that it's not the greatest thing to have your head just completely fall all the way off. And I like to have a little bit of a soft landing. So I've created like a little head support that's probably 4 inches high with my blanket. And by doing so, I can let my entire spine rest on the bolster. The heart is still going to get a really nice opening because I'm going to bring my arms out and just let the collarbones widen and let the pectoralis, all those muscles right above and around the collarbones, your chest, your armpits just release down and relax. But now slowly come back to visualizing the front part of your heart opening. And just as we nourish the backside, this offers nourishment and space and release for the front of your heart. See if you can imagine yourself stripped down to just the bareness of what makes you, you. Without your job, without your role within your family, without your obligations, without your hobbies, without your sports, your activities, all those things that we layer on to our identity. See if you can strip down in your mind, down to the deepest part of your core, feel who you really are. Let your heart embrace this feeling and give it space to surround you with loving kindness and support. Part of your soul. This is from Catherine May, from a writing called Wintering. Doing those deeply unfashionable things, slowing down, letting your spare time expand, getting enough sleep, resting, is a radical act now, but it is essential. This is a crossroads we all know, a moment when you need to shed a skin. If you do, you'll expose all those painful nerve endings and feel so raw that you'll need to take care of yourself for a while. But if you don't, then that skin will harden around you. This is one of the most important choices you'll ever make. We'll stay here for one more minute. Take your arms out from the sides of the mat, draw them up and in, cross them over the front of your body, and just let yourself feel a gentle hug of your arms and the weight of your arms coming across your chest. Breathe in here and know that you have yourself secure and safe. Lovingly held by your own sweet arms. And you can slowly begin to rise up. Gently roll yourself off of the support of the bolster. We're going to rise up and come to a seated position, and we're just going to slide that bolster right around back in front. Going to take our blanket and bring our folded blanket also on top of the bolster. Into a caterpillar pose. So in caterpillar, we're just going to bring the arms forward and let them come around the bolster, and you're simply going to round your back. So we're not trying to be stiff, we're not trying to stretch and hold the back stiff or tight. We're really trying to softly release the back and round it down. And then just allow your forehead to rest all the way down on a support. If you need to build this up in an additional manner, you can always bring a block underneath that blanket, because I want your head to be completely relaxed here and supported. So I know it takes a little bit of time sometimes to get yourself in these positions and find that sweet spot that feels like an area where you can sustain. it's important to make sure that you do feel that you're in a sustainable posture, a supported and yet sustainable posture. Because once you're there, restorative yoga really asks us to let go of everything else, to not worry about straining or fidgeting or getting to that next rung on the ladder, but just to stay right where we are. So drop into that sweet space where you can release right where you are. Body. Smooth out your breath. Let go of the strain. Let go of the striving. Just be. Stay here one more minute. See if you can let your shoulders drop down. If you identify any place where you are holding tension, give yourself permission to release. Tension to protect us. We hold it in as a protective measure. Give yourself permission to let go. deeper breath in. Slowly, one vertebra at a time, begin to lift up. Stack them gently one upon the other as you come back up to an upright position. Take a nice deep breath when you come all the way to the top. Feel the expansion up through your spine. Take another deep breath in. And let it out. All right. So we have come to our final posture for the practice tonight. I am going to set us up in a Stonehenge position with the two blocks on the end of the mat and bringing the bolster right on top. So it looks like a Stonehenge configuration. Also kind of looks like a pi sign if you're a mathematician, and that speaks to your sensibilities a little better. And then I'm going to suggest that we bring the blanket back up to the mat when we lay down and just create another really sweet head cradle. If you'd like, I know it's getting dark, at least it is in my room. I have a light on. If you want to put something over your eyes, you can always feel free to do that in Shavasana. We're going to bring the calves right on top of that bolster and just relax all the way down. And then if you like, again, you can bring that head cradle back in. And then once you get settled, I have one more reading for us this evening. I just want to demonstrate, make sure you see where we're going. Once you're initially lying down, you'll feel your lower back nice and pressed against the mat. I want you to let your shoulders drape open. Collarbones are nice and smooth across your chest. Your elbows and shoulders are just heavy, and they are nice and weighted on your mat. Your head is being softly cradled. Your legs are weightless. Come back to your breath, the steady beating of your heart. Imagine yourself floating. Floating once again. Floating wherever the wind will blow you. No particular aim, no particular destination. Just moving through the wave of life. For my last reading this evening, in the spirit of Abharagraha and letting go, I'd like to read for you the poem by Sapphire Rose called She Let Go. She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations on how to go about and do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her daytimer. She made no public announcements, put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her. And the sun and the moon shone forevermore. Just let go. Just let go. As you are ready, you can hug your knees into your chest. Begin to offer yourself a kind, gentle breath. Feel the loving kindness of your own heart. the peace of letting go. In your own time and as you are ready, if you wish, you can join in Sukhasana on the mat as we close practice together. Let's go ahead and bring our hands to the heart center and bow in Anjali Mudra. Into the heart space. Breathe into your soul. Find peace of mind and peace of heart. Thank you so much for practicing this evening. Om Shanti, 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 and Namaste.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. I hope you feel